Okay, for those of you that have a Tahoe and you've tried to let somebody in the car and you hit the unlock button a couple of times and it doesn't quite move enough to let them out, so you have to hit it a couple other times or give it a little push to help it out, I'm going to show you a real easy fix. It costs $0 to fix this, and here we go. First, we're going to remove this panel here and slide your fingers under the side, and they'll usually pop right out. These little clips will go back in there. If they get stuck in there, I'm going to wiggle them out and just put them back on the tab. It's not a big deal. Now we're going to pop this out, which was too easy. Once again, these will pop out. And we can just put them back on these little tabs before we reinstall. We're going to press this little tab here, which will release the plug. Get this out of the way. Now we're going to have two 7mm screws, one here and one just inside here. Maybe I'll fast forward this later. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just torch you. You take it a second. Okay, now that we have our two screws out, next thing is there's a little trim piece around the door handle. Now, the way this goes in, this piece goes in first when you go to reinstall, so of course it has to be the last part that goes out. So when you go to pull it out, make sure you pull out closest to the handle first. Now that we have that, just lift up on your door handle and your door panel is free. Now, here, obviously been taken apart before. Used a little masking tape to get in there. You probably won't see that on yours, but they're just trying to keep the dust out of the car, so that's not a big deal. They were doing what they needed to do. So here is your door lock, and you can feel it kind of moves kind of weird, hard. You can see they got some old lithium grease, and that's your problem. You want to pop it out of those, okay? And that grease gets sticky. It's really not grease anymore. It's almost like a partial adhesive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray a little brake clean on a little part of a rag. I'm going to slide it in those slots and clean it out. Get as much of that grease out of there as you can. It doesn't have to be super perfect. We just got to get that out for the most part. Then I'm going to take that same spot on the rag. I'm going to clean all that grease off of the linkage. Now, it's going to probably move better right now. However, we're going to just take a little bit of grease and we're going to put a little grease right in there. Just a little, just to help it slide. And then snap it back into place. Right, and that's it. Now this moves so much better than it did before. So your problem is fixed. I'll put this on there, so see how quick, and it moves all the way now, not just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back together. I'll go ahead and film it for those of you that didn't pay attention in the beginning, but it's just the reverse. So if you've seen what you need to see, go ahead and stop watching at this point, and I'll go ahead and put this back together. well, I'll have to take these out before I put the door back together. You'll figure it out. Nope. Got that one little bolt. For all you millennials out there, this is called a hand tool. Takes much more time, but the noise is awesome. Sometimes it helps to have a little hair around it. Easier to find the hole. Right. Look at that. It moves all the way every time. Have a great day.